What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. So thank you guys again for joining us for another, live video within our YouTube channel. I'm going to be sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm going to be viewing. I'm pretty much going to be performing technical analysis. Right now, it's about 20 minutes. Oh, looks like an alert came off. It's about 20 minutes into the market, and the reason that I wanted to go live now is because once the market opens, you tend to see once the volume starts to die out after 20 to 30 minutes, you tend to see a couple pullbacks. And that's what I'm going to be trying to find, something that, all of a sudden, has a little pullback, sets a support, and starts seeing an on it. And so I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, as you guys can see. There's a series of different stocks that I had within my primary pick checklist, as you can see that it was right here. AUY was one of them because of the support that it had at $2.64. It is right at that point, but it hasn't seen that upward momentum. So you might be asking, why is it that I'm not getting in yet? Well, if you see, this is, let's see what. Let's do a 10-day analysis. Let's get a little bit closer. And if you could see it previously, saw a downward trend, had a support at 265 and saw an upward trend to almost 285, right? It built this margin of profit to about 284, which is about 7.23%. Definitely very good. But today it hit lows of 264, and it hasn't started to rise. All I really care about is, the support used to be $2.65. Does it mean 100% that it's going to be and bounce at that specific price? No. That's why we wait for that upward momentum. So we know that it's at a pretty low point based on the past, 10 days, but it doesn't mean that it's going to continue to appreciate in value because it's actually within the past 3 days, it's on a downward trend, if you could see. So all we care about is identifying the support, which we have, seeing signs of upward momentum. Once we indicate that, I already have my alert, as you guys can see this little arrow right here. Once it goes above 267, that's going to alert me that it's actually going and moving up, therefore letting me know that maybe it's a good time to buy in if we can continue to see upward momentum, and then sell at 280 or 283, whatever it is, for a profit. I'm also going to set my alert if it goes below $2.63, as I know that it's broken this support, going to continue to drop. So let's go ahead and set my alert there, and then let's go ahead and continue moving on. There's a lot of activity within our group chat, so I do want to thank you all for those that are participating. For those that don't have access to our group chats already, I know some of them are full within our TechBot Solutions community, but overall, it looks like, what was it? LINU was one that was trading today. I shut it out SPI because of the huge movement that I had, and my buddy Sergio ended up just trading it right now, as well as there was one more, I think it was CTYR, but I don't think it's doing that well anymore. So let's go ahead and search it up within here. These are the ones that are seeing the highest volume. AMD actually is doing pretty good for how it usually plays out. And let's see. LINU. Oh. So right now it's at 68 cents. So I'm going to remove this and go to a 1-minute candlestick. So it looks like it had a lot of momentum right as the market opened. Had a little pullback, and that's what I guess we should have capitalized on. At 48 cents. Saw a huge upward trend and hit a resistance at 80 cents. Saw a downward trend. Has a support at, so MK, all right, has a now resistance at about 70 cents. And we're actually approaching that. So if we break 70 cents, we might get a little runner. And again, this is a 70-cent stock. This is not necessarily something I'm extremely comfortable with trading, just due to the the type of low cap stock it is. And although my Robinhood just says that I do have day trades, you know how, dude, are you kidding me? SPI, the one that we were just trading?
It's at 52. I bought it again at 30 and I sold at 52.
That is ridiculous.
Let's go. The right tech plus is time shine, bro.
Alright, I'm live, so don't go too crazy. Alright, but holy moly. Wow. So I called out SPI. I really didn't. I thought the cap was actually going to be around 120, 125 based on the previous resistance that it had right here. But this thing ran like no other.
It's going to drop now, I think.
Yeah, so we're going to wait. So we're gonna see a couple pullbacks, and let's see what happens. Wow, that's now. As the market opened, we had a good amount of people that were able to make some good profits. So 6.62% again for this $1,000 challenge. All you need is 2.3% profit. So it looks like a lot of people were able to capitalize and make much more than that. I saw a couple traders make 20% profit, as you guys can see, and that was with their trade on SYTR. But that is crazy cool. It's actually still rising.
Really?
All right, let's go back a couple days and see where the next resistance is going to be. I mean, dude, it still has potential.
Talking to me?
But yeah,
Are you still alive?
I am still alive.
Oh, hey guys.
$266, next
I'm
resistance.
playing watch it tomorrow today.
So 265 was the old resistance, as you guys could tell right here. The next one's going to be at 177 based on previous trends, and then the next one's going to be at 190, then $2, 210,
My God, it's almost
240. Wow, this would have been a solid one to jump into.
Nice drop in dollars.
Yeah. Let's see why.
Changing dollars.
Dude, this is running on no news based on what I can tell based on the TD Ameritrade. Wow, that's a huge pullback. Not too sure if you guys just saw that, but from $1.60, later Joel, from $1.60, dropped all the way down to 147, having a pretty solid pullback. Now at 150. Let's see if we can actually do this. It needs, what I'm waiting for is a really nice pullback to show one little green candlestick and then to start showing signs of upward trend or upward momentum, and for me to jump on in and jump out very quickly of SPI. I'm just afraid that because my Robinhood account has been so sketchy when it comes to not alerting me on my day trades, that it won't. So, do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Just I'm gonna buy it and I'll buy
It has a support at 246. GoPro's tanking, but that's more of a swing trade. So right now, this thing's really seeing a lot of volume for what it is.
Cap at 55.
Literally was seeing like a couple thousand in volume, and then right as it broke, you know, a couple 10, 20,000. Right as it broke that 125 resistance, I feel like, you know, a couple people got alerted that it broke above the 125 resistance, and they all jumped on it. But it just seems like too much hype, no real news, and this is why it's so important to, you know, don't jump into the hype, especially if you're jumping in late. For those that jumped in at, like, you know, when my alert went off or when I shouted this one out at about 120, 125. You know, great for you guys if you guys were able to jump on in. I actually want to check. Let's see. No, AUI, I just got the alert. So AUI, which is the one that we were previously analyzing, just broke support. So definitely not showing signs of upward momentum. So it looks like a couple people jumped into SPI. So
Keep it bouncing from like 48 to 55.
I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna like buy one share and see if I can get filled, and then pretend to sell it and see if I can day trade. And I'm sorry that I'm being so like At least if I can't necessarily trade what I'm trading right now is JNUG. And it was just because that's more of a stable stock. And if I have to sell it, I wouldn't be, so scared. And it's not necessarily that I'm scared. It's just if you guys haven't seen my past 2 videos, one of Tuesday and then the other one on Friday, when it comes to my actual day trades, Robinhood doesn't alert me if I'm on a margin call. And every time that I try to, buy and sell or perform a day trade, it says that I'm restricted. Something that I'm trying to avoid. But always aware of it. It's somewhat difficult to what's going on. But I'm really glad I was able to catch SPI. That was a really good runner. So all of you guys that were able to capitalize on that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to SPI. Build SPR. Let's do SPI. Let's do a purchase out $1.40 or a limit to buy. So 1.40. Order or number of shares. I'm just gonna go with 1 just so I can get filled and see what happens. I have to get filled first. And it's actually rising. FTR went last or below 130. Let's check that one out real quick. If I'm not mistaken, this thing has a support within the $20 to 119. Yep. I actually shutted this one out right when it was at 119 because of the huge downward trend. I think it was a 52-week low. And then the next day just spiked up to like 130. And it's continued to rise, hit its resistance at 153, and is now continuously seeing a downward trend. If it breaks below this 130 mark, which it just did, I really do expect this to go back to 120. And then again, it's not getting in at the lowest point. It's about seeing signs of upward momentum and going for that, right? Going into a stock that's seen an upward trend. That's why, although SPI does see some, type of risk right now because of how much it's moving, it's all about setting a plan and what you're comfortable with. So I identified 140 as a support at the moment. So let's say it bounces, it comes down to 140, I get filled because the $1 stock, we want to make sure that we cut losses. If we're trying to lock in profits at 2.34% on average, try to cut losses at less than 1%. So give it like, 2 to 3 cents margin for loss. So you can stop loss out if it goes below like, 137. So it gives you 3 cents if you get in at 140. But the margin for profit, I believe, is a lot greater still because of the resistance that it has at 165. But obviously, catching it at the 120, 125 would have been more ideal. I just thought when it was at 120 that, 125 was in the sense its resistance, and that was pretty much it. But it just pushed on through to 140 right after it broke 125. So that was definitely not something that I expected or could have predicted. There's no news. It really went based off like volume and just breaking a resistance, and the volume shot up. So it comes down to something so simple like that. But I'm really glad that at least I was able to talk about it, give my own opinion on kind of what happened. It looks like a couple traders within our group were able to make a couple percentage off of it. So great for you guys. Yeah, so a good amount of people are making 20%, which is definitely very surprising. Right now for JNUG, I'm up 16 cents on a. I got in at 1660, so I identified the low point, got in at 1660, and during pre-market hours, I saw that the resistance was around like the resistance is at 1690, meaning that it's struggling to break above that point. Overall, like it really comes down to just breaking the support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert when it goes below this certain point, just so I know that it's moving down, and just so I know JNUG is going to be moving up as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of movement within this margin, and not enough for this $1,000 challenge. I mean, I'm up about 1%. But again, for this $1,000 challenge, I need 2.34% profit. And because I've been having such bad days with these margin calls and these losses that I've been taking because of the inability to sell, it's been very frustrating, and just locking in profits consistently. One of the good things that I've been able to do is since I haven't been, actively trading or as aggressively due to this margin call, I've been able to call out a good amount of stocks that ended up doing pretty well today within our group and within the watch list that I shared. So I'm really glad that a lot of people were able to benefit off of that. But it really comes down to you as a user, identifying potential, setting up a plan, and cutting losses short. And what I mean by that is, with all the different trades that were traded today. I mean, LINU is not one that I talked about today, but it's one that a lot of people saw potential in because of the spike and because of the momentum. So one of the things that we always talk about is, setting up a plan on where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're going to cut your losses, and then sticking to it, right? So if you're going to say you're going to lock in profits at 5%, and and you're going to cut losses at 1 or 2%, then make sure that regardless of what happens, you stick to your plan and you don't, in a sense, just break it based on emotions or based on hope that it actually goes better. So PBR just went last or below. Yeah, man, this one's been wrecking. The reason I find this one, I actually believe, just because pre-market hours, it has a support at 855. PBR seems to be a pretty good buy at around 855 as long as it bounces. But if it doesn't, then of course we're gonna let it drop as low as it potentially can until it starts to rise, and then that's when we'll, in a sense, decide to jump on in. But if you guys see, based on its previous trend, it bounced at around this point, so it actually should be bouncing already. But all we see is our red candlesticks. So once we start seeing an upward trend, then this could be a good indicator, because the margin of profit, there's a resistance at $9, is about 4.1%, and this is definitely not a penny stock. I mean, this is a petroleum company based off Brazil. Brazil had a huge drop due to some uncertainty with their president or something like that, and that's what actually caused this enormous drop. So if we go 20 days back, let's see if we can actually capture it. 20 days back, it was highs of about almost $11 or 10.50, and all dropped all the way down to 8.25, and we're not that far from 8.25, so we're pretty low at the support. And again, this is pretty much, I don't want to say it's a 52-week low, because it has hit lows of $5.45, but it just continuously showed signs of upward trends. It held pretty well, and then all of a sudden after that, just huge drop. It's now at the old support of where it used to be around 860. So we should be seeing signs of upward trend, and this is one within the swing trading group chat that we've been talking about, that this could be a good swing. But again, you don't want to throw your money into or invest your money into something that's not appreciating in value. So although it is at a low point, yes, you can take the risk of jumping in now to get at a very low point and hope for it to rise. But why do that, and why not trade it a little bit smarter and wait for it to start showing signs of upward momentum, meaning that, okay, it starts rising, breaks above 860, and then you make the decision to jump on in and, okay, well, I'll jump on in here. I can lock in profits at $9, but at least there's an indicator showing that it's a good buy. The RSI is showing that it's a good buy, just SMA is showing that it's way too low. So I'm definitely going to take a step back and set my alert. If it goes below 855, I'm going to set my alert. So if it drops below 855, and I also want to get alerted if it goes above 861. Wow, SPI is just kind of holding. Well, this is now when I don't necessarily want to trade SPI, is because the volume has died down so much, and it looks like I might actually get filled with that one share. It looks like it peaked out at, what was that, 150? Is now seeing a downward trend and is most likely going to hit the 140 support. There's a couple buyers here at 142, 143, a couple sellers at 145, but the volume is definitely dying out. Yeah, they had a previous support at 136. Let's see. Yeah, JNUG isn't doing very well. Let's check this one out. It's now seen an upward trend from a bounce at 925. So a pretty solid drop. So this is what we like to do. This is what I personally like to do. I like to identify. So although this stock is down 1.49% from where it opened, it's not a true penny stock. It's a $9.28 stock. So, it's a higher dollar stock. So it's a little bit more stable. It has this drop and now it's set its support at 925 and now showing signs of upward momentum. So let's say it simply goes back up from once it breaks above 930 and it goes back up to this resistance at 950. That's 2.15% profit. Again, it's not huge. But when it comes down to trading and when it comes down to minimizing loss and feeling more comfortable, especially when starting out, you want to make sure that you feel comfortable and identify, true potential in whatever it is that you're investing in. So by making sure that you take a step back, let the stock do what it has to do, and setting its support, setting its resistance. So it set its resistance right as the market opened, as it peaked out at $9.50. Had a pullback and then broke support at $9.40. And it's actually not doing very well because it hit its resistance at 930 and then started seeing a downward trend again. So if it bounces again at 925 and starts to rise, this one's definitely that has a margin of profit based on the past 10 days, has this gap from $10 to $11. So it's definitely something that I think is easy to capitalize on. It definitely still has margin also to lose from $9.25 to $8.20 as that was the overall support. But still definitely has that margin at least to go back up to the $10 mark, as that is the resistance before the actual resistance at $11. So I hope you guys can see that. Maybe I should draw the lines for you guys. Right here. And previous bounce was around, definitely not around this area, but it looks like there's still the support at 925 and hopefully it doesn't break below that, but we'll go ahead and follow up with this one. And I'll set my alerts. I think this is definitely one also for potential swing trade or even a day trade if the volume, does very well. Definitely can do very well. As you guys could see, I had a really nice rise yesterday, but then saw a huge downward trend and stayed pretty much above 940, so that was good. Just didn't open that same way. So we have a wall of buyers at 925. So it looks like that's still a solid support. But other than that, it's not showing signs. Yeah, it's bouncing right now, but not showing huge signs of upward momentum. We really need these candlesticks or this candlestick to break above 926 and to go to 927. So I'm going to set my alert when it breaks above this resistance, and maybe I can catch it as it's rising. But again, currently during the market, it's not doing very well. So I'm also going to set my alert if it drops below 925 because I want to make sure that I'm aware that it breaks support. And let's go ahead and check in with SPI. Still not doing much. Let's go check in with JDog. Still at that same resistance and support again. Low point. Yeah, looks like just broke below that support of 925 and it's probably going to bounce at 920. But other than that, not really doing much. Looks like it's pretty close to my purchase price at $16.60. I'm really just thinking of selling my position once it comes back up to this 1677 mark, as that's the resistance, but it just isn't breaking. It's not playing how I want it to. And again, you don't want to trade anything that you're not comfortable with, especially if the day is not going according to how you're planning it to go. Just with these different stocks that I could have done good, I didn't. I didn't jump in quick enough. So I could definitely work on that. So again, my videos usually deal with. So my videos usually deal with me talking about my whole thought process and stuff like that. A lot of people, especially during the live portion of my videos, talk about that. I might post later on that I actually executed on a trade, like where I buy and where I sold. But a lot of my live videos have to do just more with like analysis, because I don't want to be a channel. I don't want to be a person to tell anyone within our group to trade, a specific stock. And I feel like when I really originally started the group, I had a lot of people that would always just try to mimic my trades. And in a way, like if you want to do this as a career in the long run, you have to understand that mimicking someone's trade isn't going to be something that you're going to be able to do for the rest of your life. And if this is a career or an avenue that you want to capitalize on, then it really comes down to understanding how to identify potential. And that's why, although my videos might sound very repetitive, if you see any of them, like I focus on these specific topics on waiting for the pullbacks, identifying the support, seeing signs of upward momentum. I try to talk about the things that I've been able to do best. It's not something I make a ton of mistakes, right? And I'm still a developing trader, but I always try to, in a sense, talk on how I believe it should be done. And in no way, if you guys don't see value in that, or if you guys have tried it out and it hasn't worked out for you, and waiting for the pullback, waiting for the support to set itself, showing signs of upward momentum, making a plan on where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're going to cut your losses to minimize risk and promote growth. If you do better, just like with straight momentum trades, or you do better with your own specific way on how to trade, leave it in the comments. A lot of people do watch these live like recaps, and I want to make sure if they don't find value in at least how it is that I trade, that's not the only avenue that they have to learn. I want to make sure that people have as many resources, and that's the whole point of this group, Tech Solutions, is to be talking about just everything that we do good and everything that we do bad, an effort for new traders to come on in and learn from our best practices and our mistakes, so they don't have to repeat them. So I hope you guys see the value in that. I'm going to follow up with my trades, but it's getting to that point. It's 7:16 and I still haven't done anything. I don't want this live video to be going on for too long, but other than that, yeah, it looks like actually JNUG just broke the support. It's at $16.50. So I'm actually down on that now. And I actually got filled on SPI. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I was on a margin call. So let's go ahead and I click limit. I click to sell at $1 and I don't know, 45 cents. One share. I think it's actually going to allow me to sell. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of scared because if I try to sell, then that's going to count as a day trade, and I don't want to. So if you guys can see my account, I only have one day trade, and it shows that it's SPI, and that was actually because the people through Robinhood actually assisted me with that. But overall, I'll follow up with it, and I'll let you guys know on how that all goes. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope you guys continue to talk about your best practices and your mistakes. You guys did an amazing day right now with all the just trades within our Tech Solutions group chat. So congratulations to all of you. I'll be sure to shout out some of you within the Facebook platform. Again, the link is provided for you down below if you guys aren't a part of Tech Solutions already. We are sitting a little bit over 21,700 members now worldwide. And the thing that we do best is we share best practices, share mistakes, and efforts to promote growth. So I can't thank you guys enough, again, for continuing to share and use this platform and providing a welcoming environment for new traders and experienced traders, and definitely trying to help everyone out and really supporting everyone. So I can't thank you guys enough. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.